That would kind of be fun.
Honor, integrity. No, can't do that yet. Character. Wait, gotta wait.
Howdy. Welcome back to Dion Talk. This video is going to be a little bit different. Today, we're going to be talking about the 3 sides of FI with the 3 amigos. We have Michael Zuber from One Rental at a Time, who reached financial freedom probably long before he retired. But for about 4 years now, Mike's been enjoying that every day is Saturday life. We have Matt, the lumberjack landlord, name to be determined soon, who is also financially free, but continues to work and I believe is looking at retiring within the next year or two. And then we have me, who is having the weirdest week ever because a couple of days ago, I retired. And so this is the 3 sides of FI. Let's start with Mike. What's it been like since you gave up the security and the consistency of the W-2 life?
I've gone through a couple of kind of life events. First and foremost, coming out of, being financially independent, knowing you're there, but suddenly retiring. I retired at 45, not planning to retire until I was 50. And, events transpired where it's like, okay, today's the day. I didn't know that driving to work. I didn't know that walking into my meeting, and it just out of nowhere. So the first thing I could tell you is, don't do that. Have a plan. Cause again, it's the closest I got to being depressed, and as a glass half full, always go. It wasn't a good feeling. I remember one weekend going, I'm just going to get a job. And I remember sitting back as I had that mental thought going, what a failure I am. I'm an absolute failure. I'm financially free and I'm going to get a job because I have to, because there's nothing to do. What a complete moron I am. I remember thinking all of these things in my head. So that's where I came to the realization that I need to write down my history. What became One Rental at a Time, the book. It was really nothing more than my realization that I had not enjoyed the 15 years of one house, Norris Drive to freedom. I was at a point where I realized I had missed that. So I wrote what became One Rental at a Time as nothing more than a PDF or a Word document that I intended to share with a few friends. It was their feedback that ultimately became a book that's now been reviewed almost 1,000 times on Amazon. It was that feedback that led me to, okay, well, I have a voice. Let's talk about this thing on YouTube. And my very first video was me sitting on my couch going, don't know what the hell I'm going to do, but let's talk to a camera, which is such an odd feeling the first time. Then you help people, and then a course comes. So really the thing for me was I had to find my purpose. I had to find something I was excited about. I didn't want to change my life also. If you know me, I'm a creature of habit. I'm up before 6 a.m., 7 days a week, no alarm clock. I haven't had an alarm clock for a decade. My wife and I are on very different schedules. I get about 3 hours in the morning to myself because she's up late. It's awesome how it works out. So I've kept doing what I'm doing. The daily financial news is literally something I've done for almost 25 years. I just now take notes and talk about it to a camera. The beauty of what I'm doing now is it's something I'm passionate about. It's something that I now want to build a legacy that lives 50 years past the day I'm dead, because I think you die twice, one physically and then once the last time somebody says your name. And I'm shooting for 50 years. I think that will be pretty cool. And then for the folks that are watching this, because I know a lot of people watch stuff like this, think money is not important to me, but I've made more money in the last 3 or 4 years than I made while working, right? Why? How did I do that? Well, I started flipping homes. I flipped 56 homes in the best flipping market ever, made more money than I ever thought possible. Book sales, all these other things produced. Again, I made more money not working than while I was working, and I had a great job in my W-2. So it's kind of wild when you have good intentions and you're willing to invest ahead of things, right? I've invested $150,000 in a channel that hasn't produced that, but if I keep going, it will. So it's lucky enough to be in a position where you can write a $150K check and not feel it. It's been a fun ride. I'm kind of like Matt. It's like ready, fire, aim. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just keep trying to be a little bit better every day. So that's kind of my story.
Awesome. In an attempt to encourage Matt to retire, every day I have been sending him this image.
But not today.
Today I was able to actually just show him it in this video. You have a year or two, Matt, before you pull the plug and walk away. So that people who are in that same position can think, are their concerns normal? What are you most thinking about as you're getting closer to the date where you actually do retire?
Yeah, and I think all of those things, all of those steps I've gone through kind of in the last, 90 days. I mean, fighting off the weekly desire to have a spontaneous, acute case of Tourette's like Mike had the morning he quit. So you fight that off probably once a week. You're just like, that would kind of be fun.
Honor,
integrity. No, can't do that yet. Character. Gotta wait. And so there's the fighting of that. And yeah, I just gave Dion a phenomenal clip. And I know this. And so for me, it was kind of, becoming very tactical, which was, okay, what am I going to need the day that I say, because I honestly, truly, I think I know what their response is going to be, but they might have a spontaneous acute attack of Tourette's and I might not be there after that. That's quite possible. And so if something like that were to ever happen, I want to basically essentially have done everything and have everything in place. And so what that means is taking out the money from my W-2, living on anything but that W-2 money, living only on the money that I know that we're going to have, number one. Number two is having a conversation with the people that we do the most work with to make sure that they know that they're going to be okay, that we've been planning this 3 years. This is not one of those things where you have to worry. Now that I'm going to be on job sites that much more often, now that I'm going to be more involved in different parts of the business, you don't have to worry. It's not going to impact you. The purpose of my doing this is to propel continual growth and not to be taking anything away from anybody. So you don't have to worry about that piece. It's really making sure that they're at ease. And then the last thing is just tactically what's needed in order for us to function. So with everything we went through with Eliana, amazing healthcare is very important. So I spent 90 days already working with brokers, working with plans, figuring all that stuff out, structures. I had to open up an LLC, doing things like this to make sure that we're positioned that if they decide that that is my last day, I just flip a switch. And if it's not my last day and they want 30 days or 60 days or whatever it is, then we know exactly what we're easing into. Because then there's also the opportunity for maybe there's a hybrid approach where they just say, listen, we just really want to always be able to pick up the phone and call you if we have a question or issue. I know those will go down over time, but maybe they just say something like, we'll take care of your healthcare or something like that, whatever. But I want to plan as if that literally that life, that part of me is truly disappearing.
What I really like is the consideration for either one of you wasn't money.
Yeah. No.
It wasn't. The normal path to financial freedom is that everyone looks for on YouTube. How do I replace the money that I'm having to work for? And we find out what the freedom number is. And that includes housing, healthcare, transportation, food, entertainment, taxes, all of those expenses. That's not the consideration that you had when it came to retiring early. And so here's the third side of FI, the current transition from I've been working, and a couple days ago, I no longer work there. I reached financial freedom in 2018, or at least financial independence. Since 2018, I have not touched a penny from my job as far as living expenses go. Every penny from work went into the account to buy the next investment. So for 4 years, I haven't needed to work. I worked for a couple of reasons. One, I really like the job. It's just running a CDL school. I get to play in a truck like it's a go-kart, and we have simulators, and I help people find jobs, and I get to run a nonprofit that I founded, helping other people find other jobs. So it's fun. So I actually had a good job. I didn't have Mike's experience where I want to retire in 5 years, but today was so bad, and I realized that I have the means to retire now, so I'm just going to do it. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. We were, as a company, facing a challenge. There was a state agency basically attacking us. And for that amount of time in the last few months, I was not going to retire or even talk with it really about it, to anybody to add more to their stress plate. And then we had a meeting that went so well. I mean, I prepared like 10-hour days, 5 days in advance with an attorney. Like, this is my plan. This is my structure. This is the strategy I'm using to get that meeting to go right. And it went so well. Right at the end of the meeting, I was like, I am at the top of my game. Like, every skill I've developed in the last 10 years was used in that meeting. Had the follow-up meeting saying, this is my last day. So it doesn't have to be a bad day. It doesn't have to be a great day, but we're all one day away from walking away from that job, which comes from financial freedom. Had the ability to do it for 4 years. And what I really like about, Mike, I think you had the experience where you were working for employees at different levels of the company. Both Matt and I are working for the owners who made an investment and took a risk, and then took a risk on us, right? Neither one of us are as educated as you, Mike. And so we feel like this fierce sense of loyalty to them. So our exit strategy was more not, how am I going to cover my expenses? It was, how am I going to make sure I don't leave a void at the company I'm leaving? So there are people watching who are in that position where, believe me, we are all replaceable. And Matt has said this on other videos. It might take 3 or 4 people, but we're replaceable. To find a way to leave a company to where that transition is smooth for both sides, the company you're leaving, the employees you've been working with that you're leaving, and then to make sure that you're set up. The third side of FI, even though the finances are worked out, like I am multiples what it costs me to live. The company I'm exiting in such a way, I've taken years to train a team to take over for me. I made sure that the issues we had were resolved before I even brought up the idea that, hey, I'm leaving. Is uncertain. It is like starting a vacation that doesn't have a return date, and knowing that there are people like Mike who go after a certain amount of time. I'm bored. I might have to go get a job to fill my time. And I'm on the other end of that spectrum where I could be a sloth and do nothing. I've never been bored in my entire life. I could read books forever. I could play video games forever. But that wouldn't have purpose. So for me, and I take this from the YouTube channel Joe Kuhn, Kuhn, is retire to something, not from something. I'm confident in leaving the purpose of running a company and growing a company to helping people reach financial freedom, so that the people who hate their job aren't trapped in it, and the people who love their job have the option of changing if they find something else they want to do that's more important to them. So this has been a video I think we might do once in a while, called The 3 Sides of FI, as our journeys progress. Retired for years, just doing it and coming up on it. If they have questions and they want to reach out, Matt, how can they get a hold of you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and on Instagram at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. You can come hang out with us. We do our awesome live stream.
Nice. And Mike, if they have questions, how can they find you?
One rental at a time on YouTube and Instagram, website, books, courses. And I do a live stream for only 60 minutes. I feel like such a slouch next to these guys. 8 a.m. on Saturday. If you want to get in, we have a couple hundred people on each week. If you want to ask a question, get on early.
And we are looking at doing a live meetup as soon as One Rental at a Time hits 50,000 subscribers, or if Lumberjack Landlord hits a number that we're going to pick in the future, we might get together.
Joint retirement party, maybe?
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm thinking a celebration house in Vegas. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good.
Until our next video, thanks for coming to my Dion Talk.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.